says, your immersive experience has been hijacked. It is highly recommended that you disconnect.
Good evening, and welcome back to the Immersive Experience, a podcast about you, for you, from you. I'm your guide, Desi Lou, and I hope you are ready for a shift in your energy and to ignite your soul. Because today we are welcoming a true luminary, a master bridge builder between the physical world of rhythm and the deep transformative world of spirit. Our guest is internationally recognized as the Soul Weaver. She is a healing artist, a master choreographer, an intuitive consultant, and a powerful teacher who uses the foundational energy of African dance combined with tools like neuro linguistic programming and crystal work to help people move through their profound grief blockages and find their authentic rhythmic truth. From connecting communities after 9/11 through movement to guiding hundreds through personal transformations via her unique modality, her journey is a testament to the fact that our bodies and our spirits are innately designed to heal. She is the embodiment of movement, medicine, and joy, and her wisdom is exactly what we need today. So please help me give the warmest of welcomes to Miss Amina, aka Goldieverse.
What an intro.
Oh yes, I think that there is nothing better that somebody who is interviewing a person of status could do is to research them. So I believe in doing my homework before I talk to somebody. I think
Yeah,
that's something that is very important.
I'd be reminded of some of the things that I've done. It's like, wow, hearing it back is like confirmation. Like, okay, you did that. Yeah, you all right.
Okay. I
So I
love to hear
appreciate
that.
it.
So this is truly, it's truly a pleasure to be speaking with you. I know, but right before we came on, I was saying that how we got connected is you were actually on in the comments of my last podcast, and I thought you were able to articulate yourself so well. But prior to that, if you guys are not aware, there is a group that we are both in, and it is with the Write It Out tribe. Oh, look, it's late night. That's who the tribe is. Um, if you want to follow that group, it's called the Write It Out tribe. You're more than welcome to add yourself, and that is how I initially came to know of the multi-talented Amina, aka Miss Goldieverse herself. So I am gonna go ahead and let you get started. I apologize. I was hit with a sickness yesterday. They was like, "You don't celebrate Thanksgiving," and all of my ancestors was like, "Yeah, we not doing that." So sickness be upon you. And today I feel a little better. So I am going to I'm gonna be quiet. I do got some questions for you. I'm sure all of the people in the audience, if you do have any questions, make sure you chime in. Let her know. Let us know that you're there, and if possible, let us know where you're watching from. We always love that type of energy. It gives us involvement. So, Miss Amina, I'll allow you to go ahead and introduce yourself in your own right. Allow us to tell us where we can find you, follow you, and what it is that you do. But we're going to talk about all of those things in just a minute too. So
Okay, well, first off, the intro was so full, but I guess in my own words, I would call myself to generalize everything a light worker. My goal is I feel like I wear a million different hats, but my mission is the same. It's like I want to help others find their light, get through their inner traumas so that they can be of service in this world. We need more light workers. So I use my tools, Soul Transforming Energy and Movement, which is a technique I created, which I guess we'll get into later, but it really has, I'll be showing y'all a little bit of it later, but it is something that I use to ground myself, and it identifies pretty much how I share my gifts through this technique STEAM. So I would say I guess I'm a light worker, intuitive, And first and foremost, most likely, most people know me as a dancer. I'm trying to think too, as far as when I use dance and intuition together, I think that is really full definition of what I do, incorporating intuition and dance. And that is my healing technique, and that's how I share my light, pretty much.
I know when I was reading up on you that you also teach children who have special needs as well. What I was looking to ask is like, what are some of the struggles that you face with teaching children who we deem to have special needs? Like, is it easy to teach them? What are some of the difficulties that you face as well?
Well, I'm a mom of four, but three of my kids are autistic and nonverbal. So I'm already in it. I already have to build up the skills in order to communicate, in order to teach. And so prior to that, kind of I guess destiny, I was in a dance group called Tokenu All Abilities, and it incorporated people with physical disabilities with people who were able-bodied. So we would go out and we were working with people who had disabilities. And there I felt like I was already getting prepared for what I didn't even realize I was going to have to be prepared for. And so I would say some of the difficulties I've run into sometimes it's within patience, being able to be patient and and then understanding that one way isn't the only way, being able to say, okay, that's not working, for this individual, try something else, especially with autism, because it's such a big a spectrum. It's not just one kind. So whereas one might say, okay, I can move if you show me the movements, and another, you actually have to move them to do it with you. And that I think in itself can be difficult if you are someone that's to the book. This is how I was taught in school. This is how we do it. But if you're someone who comes in and you're open and you're feeling and you're not just listening with your ears, but with your eyes, with all of your senses, and you can really feel who you're working with, I think it makes it a lot easier. A lot
I,
easier. Leave your ego at the door.
I agree with that. I will say that there was a video of yours that I was watching. Not It wasn't a video, it was a picture of you. It was a still picture of you. And on this picture you talk about how you stated that there was no particular picture, you weren't posing, it was right after a drum session, and it was you battling within yourself of how to stay your authentic self, or to move and conform to the ways that somebody else was telling you to move and conform. Now, what question I did have for you is about being able to set those boundaries and stay within those boundaries. How does that work for you?
Oh, it gets difficult. Especially, I don't even want to fall back on my zodiac sign, but we Aries, I'm an Aries. We sometimes do have to suppress the ego. You have to kind of battle. Is this my ego or
Mhm.
is this my heart? Is this me? And I think in that specific moment, I was battling with that. Is this my ego? Do I think I'm too good to do what everyone else is doing? Or is this my values and morals? And at the end of the day, I think for me, when I had those battles, the position I was in was talk to your ancestors before you do something or say something crazy.
Yes.
So let me put my head down and breathe. And this person that was there, they're making light of it, like trying to take pictures. And I'm like, I'm not here for it. I'm
Yeah.
trying to woo someone and get myself. And then I
Yeah.
said, no, I don't feel comfortable. And I think that discovering I'm not by myself, I got my spirit guides. I talk to God right now. You people don't matter. It's me and God right now. And God
Yeah.
says, you do it. And I think that's where I go when I have those battles to
Okay.
source, to spirit.
Okay, I like that. One thing that I am um, I will say one thing that I am learning about you in this moment, and this is something that me myself, especially in the world of, I grew up in the church and everything like that. And so what I tell a lot of people now these days is basically like, it's time out for a bunch of preachers and teachers. We need people who are embodiments of the work that they do. And I mean, just listening to you, it's more so like it's innate to you. Like any question that I ask you, I just definitely feel like we're gonna end back up at self. And a lot of times for you, it's about reflection. So what are some tools that you could offer other people who have a hard time with reflection?
Hmm. Whew. Reflection is difficult. Number one tool, let yourself feel. You got to just not be afraid of the feelings. And I think for a long time to reflect meant I had to feel what I felt when I reflected. And I spent a lot of time, I think, in my childhood, in my teen years, building up the wall of keep the emotions down, don't feel too much, and you'll be safe. And as I got older and more spiritual, you're forced to reflect. Like God, God's not going to let you move forward. You have to take a look at yourself first and fix the wounds. If you can't fix them, understand where they came from, so
Mhm.
you can work through it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the scariest part was letting the emotions. That's the first step, is letting your emotions be free. It's not bad if you're angry. It's not bad to feel sad. It's not, all those emotions we were told are bad and don't show. Those you have to let it out. That's the beginning of reflecting in when I do it. And I would say after that, being still, not being afraid to be alone. The next step is just being going in a hermit. Take a break from social media. It's number one trigger zone. People wonder why they be in a funk through the day. Half the time it'll be you saw something online and you go like, this person. And now for the rest of the day, get in this energy. So when for me, it's like pull back. I would say first step, feel your feels. Second step, pull back without guilt. I need a break today. No, can't. I don't want to do that today with you. I can't today. Take a break without guilt. And that takes time to, because when you're a compassionate and feeling person, it's hard to say like, no, I don't want to be bothered. But sometimes you have to do that. And being still not in depression, but going within, seeking the answers, going within. If you pray, pray. If you meditate, meditate. I started in church. We were going to Lutheran church. I still sing some of those songs. I feel like I take from everything. You take from what moves you. And I think that's what God really wants. It's like I put all these different things here. I didn't say make it one thing. This is my religion and join me. I said this is here for you if you need it. And I think what's for you, you grasp, and it helps you. And it might not help that person, but it might help that one.
Mhm. I definitely agree with that because I do believe that that's a lot of what we battle today is exactly because everybody is like, oh, you got to be copy paste like me, or you got to do it like I do it. And so for it's very
Mhm.
hard for us to show up in our authenticity when we're expected to be inside of a box when we show up in the first place anyways. Like, oh, don't show up too loud, or don't show up too much in your culture, like, so like, because they're gonna judge you for it. But I do believe that there's a beauty in being able to stand on what you believe. And we all have a lot of problems with standing on what we believe, simply because in Western education, we've been taught that we're more valuable if we're useful to other people. And that's where it goes back into when you were talking about the being a compassionate person. One thing that I had to learn is that a no cost you nothing. A yes cost you everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so I think that was one of the hardest things for me was learning to say no when I myself was lacking resources at that time. to even help somebody. And you think it's like a really good thing, like, oh, I could be going through the worst time possible and I could still give somebody joy. And I can essentially, but I can't give you all of my time. I can give you a word of encouragement. I could give you oh, I apologize that something bad happened to you, but I can't come and spend all of this time with you and comfort you, because at this time I'm in a season of where I need. And I will truly say that that has been one of the hardest places that I have had to navigate. Learning, helping other people learn that it's not personal. Like, it's not personal. I need a moment. So
Yeah.
I don't. I want to ask you, what is the biggest challenge of translating deeply personal, intuitive healing work into a digital format? Like, I know, like, you posted on like YouTube and all of those things. Are some of these platforms newer for you? Like, how does that work with you incorporating it into your work?
Good question. I would say one of the biggest challenges, especially offering anything intuitive based, is proving you're a real person, you're a human.
Mhm.
Because sometimes people see the wall of YouTube becomes TV, Facebook becomes like TV. You're there, I'm here. I don't really interact with you physically, so it's difficult when I want to do something and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna do something in person. And it's hard to get people to come out because maybe they're thinking, is this real? Are you a real person? So it's hard to move, especially when you're coming with spiritual, as people call it, spiritual things that people already are skeptics about. So to put it on social media when you have all these other people out there that are like jumping in people's inboxes saying, I see a spirit around you. Send write me a message. I can tell you how to get rid of this. And now I'm coming authentic, and now I have
Mm.
to prove myself. So that was the beginning of my. It was very difficult. I think I was facing all sorts of comments and my things like, oh, you need Jesus, or this is not real. Are you think you can see the future? And I'm like, oh my God, this is not at all what I'm saying. This is intuition. We all have it. But then I started interacting with clients and they would tell me, they would message me like, hey, I got this message. This is why I was skeptical. I keep getting these messages from people talking about, oh, let me help you. And I see something on you. And, I said, okay, well, don't trust anyone. And this is for everybody out there. Anybody jumps in your inbox offering anything, don't accept. It's usually a scam. Anyone doing business is not going to jump in your inbox if they don't know you. Okay. But that was one of the things that I struggled with, was trying to get people to understand that I was human. And in doing that, I think sharing my personal stuff. I have little shorts where I would just sit and I just talk. I feel drained today. Who else is feeling like that? I did this and did that, and people gave me their ass to kiss. Have you experienced that? And I think interacting makes you more human. And then my numbers started to grow. Doing lives really helped too. Being live, like, hey, I'm real. I have kids. My kids are here. They would pop up, and so people start to feel safe. You know, but
I
yeah, that
do.
was
I
probably.
definitely. I agree with that. I agree with that, because it's like, I grew up in the 90s, right? So for me, a lot of things were just being introduced to us in the 90s. So we go from, like, catfishing is at an all-time high these days, So, like, back then you probably ran into it far, far and few in between. But the more time we spend with technology, the more we learn to depend on it. I think they just came out with something, and this is a total shift. They just came out with some little robot. It's a SanDisk little robot that follows you around and will record everything that you're
Oh,
doing. Like, it's so
that's
underworld. It's
stupid.
like, yeah. Like, So you got like this little thing that's like following you around. And I try to be like one of those people who are up to date on like what could possibly push me further, get me be more interactive with the people that I'm interacting with, like all of those things. And like I really get like how my grandparents possibly felt with cell phones started becoming like a normal thing. Like that whole
Yep.
switch of like, oh, okay, this is happening. Oh yeah, we're definitely walking to like a virtual reality era or whatever like this. And this is totally a pivot. Like, would you ever consider doing like anything with the VR for like any virtual healings or the sound healings or anything like that?
I don't know. I'm more of a hands-on person because somebody
Hmm.
was even sending me a machine online for sound healing where you don't even have to touch the crystal bowls. You sit them on the bowls and this thing will vibrate and just make the bowls make the sounds. And for me, I was like, I felt like my grandparents looking at that, like, so you don't feel it? It's just gonna vibrate. So you feel like you're in contact with. For me, I think I like feeling in contact. Like, I think electronics, we already have the social media shield, we have the cell phone shield disconnecting us, but now I don't think I want to go any further with that.
I feel
Virtual
that.
reality, that scares me, you know. It makes me think erasing humans. Soon they can
Yes.
have this experience without you. And so, I mean, I think the connection between people, I like that. That's a
Hmm.
part of why I do what I do is I actually like coming into a room and having that community feeling like, oh, and making this our sacred space and fixing the energy without social media and airwaves getting in the way, just connecting right there. you know. So I
Yeah.
probably
I feel that. I like that too, though. I don't think that we have enough of that, and I often think as to why they made us more no contact these days, no contact these days, opposed to when we were back in the old days. Late night asked, when people are skeptical and wondering what it is you actually do, how do you get people to be more interactive with you or want to have the experience you offer?
ah, okay. Well, first off, I the first thing I do is try to make it clear that I'm not some special being. Because a lot of times when you're in the category of healer, people seem to think you're completely healed. You're this light auric being just walking the earth. You never have bad moments. You never have a sad day. You're always, everything is great. So the first thing I do is try to relate. You're intuitive. I'm intuitive. You can move. I can move. Everything I can do, you can do. And everything that I'm showing you at one point, I had to learn and take the steps too. So I try more to relate to let them know like there's no, I'm not here and you're there, because sometimes that can cause a divide where a person is more coming at me skeptically to try to like knock me down off the pedestal rather than to understand. So I already come down off the pedestal you put me on, because people think intuitive means psychic and you can see the future. Oh, you're a healer. That means you are completely healed. Oh, you dance. Well, I don't dance. And I've seen you on stages. I can't do it. And they put you up, 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 up. So the first thing I do with skeptics is I bring us here and let it be known what I can do, you can do. All I'm doing is being a guide. I'm guiding you. I'm not healing you. I'm guiding you through your healing process. And that, to me, sometimes when you're skeptical and you start to realize, oh, me too. And then I'll come onto their level. Sometimes I've had skeptics that are, I call Bible thumpers. Everything is by the Bible, and we'll bump heads. But what they don't understand is I understand the Bible too. So when they come with that, like, hey, well, in the Bible it says this, and I'll say, well, the Bible is correct. And also, you do realize you're a child of God as well. So wouldn't you have the same attributes of your father or your mother? You'd have some of their qualities. So the gifts I have, you have the gifts Jesus Christ had. You have Jesus Christ was just all the way tapped in. And
Yeah.
you're not, because society has taught you It's not possible. Only special beings can reach that level. You have to be a prophet like Muhammad or a savior like Jesus Christ. Whereas really they were examples of what we could be if we raised our vibrations there. So I think
Exactly.
that meeting skeptics where they believe, where their beliefs are, can help to cut through skepticism. Hope that answered your question, Lay.
It answered it for me, no. But yes, I absolutely agree with all of that, and I think in learning those things as well, learning to meet people where they are, and also being able to speak different languages, so you're not just talking to a person and what you say, trying to Bible thump them or make them see things the way that you see it. I've been thumped with a few Bibles only because I wasn't paying attention in church, but that's like her mama did not care. Girl, you hear this prayer going on, be quiet. But mama. So I do think like that is that I want to ask you like, but outside of like all of the Bible thumpers and any even within your family or your social circles or anything like that, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced with how you practice your belief?
Hmm. I would probably say in my immediate family, my mother was already pretty Afro, into her roots, spiritual. She was open. I put up my ancestor altar in the house when I started getting more into connecting to the ancestors, told her what I was doing, wasn't any backlash. I would say I probably, even my sisters, they all followed, suit. We were always growing up in the culture. But I would say I got backlash. Rest in peace, sorry, Gamby. My grandmother, I used to feel like she was a little bit like, "Mm, I don't know about all this African stuff, but she would come and support. But once she got saved, I used to feel a little judged, like maybe, you know, I don't know, that side of the family that went and got saved would make comments. Not her so much, but cousins would say stuff like, you need Jesus and things like that. And I'd be like, oh, I
Yeah.
got you. We good. But friends, I would say even now, you can tell who the ones are that are kind of like at a distance, like, I like that post. Okay. And then when if I interact with them, they seem a little like, okay, I don't think I'll come out to that, but I'll click it, and then I got the ones that join my groups and interact and support. So I think I didn't really see major challenges with it. I probably saw the most challenges. Okay. Most challenges would have been probably in romantic relationships.
Mm.
When you're intimate with someone and they have totally different, and I always end up with Islam. That way, in Islam. So it was always like me and my spirituality and them and Islam. And I'm like, I agree with, what you're saying, but one way. You're either Christian or you're Islam, and when I didn't fit into that box, that's where the challenges would come in. Like,
Yeah.
well, I can't really say I'm one or the other. And
Yeah.
those are probably the biggest challenges I even still face, like religious and in intimate relationships.
Okay, I could definitely understand that. I really I have never grasped the concept of somebody wanting you to conform so badly. I guess that's because I'm a person that I don't wish to possess you. I wish to witness you. So like to be there and to be in your presence, that's a blessing itself. So like change you for what? I like you for the things that you already are. So if I go around trying to make you fit some standard or make you fit more to me, then that defeats the purpose of you being you. So I definitely I
Yeah.
had to learn a lot because people always try to fit us into boxes, and I think this go back into earlier about what we were saying about reflection, is that we got to look inside of ourselves and see how we put other people into boxes just as much as we can see how people put us into a box. So earlier you were saying that you are a mother of four. I would like to ask for all the mothers who are watching. There's also a lady who I know, and she has a mommy mogul moment. So I want to give you this moment of being a mom, and also being, I mean, there's so many titles that you already have. How do you balance all of the hats that you wear?
I was gonna say terribly. That's not true. Um, how do I balance all the hats? I will say my oldest does help me a lot. She's probably my number one team member. I don't know
Mhm.
if she's even in the live now, but she helps me a lot. With if I have to sleep, she'll be up with the three youngest ones. If I have to go somewhere, she'll look out for them for me. So I'll say she's probably my number one support when it comes to mothering. And I still have to fight guilt. I'm always like, no, it's not your job. It's not your responsibility. I had these kids. What do you want to do? Go do what you want to do. But she is probably my number one with helping me balance the hats.
Mhm.
Other than that, it's I hate to keep going back to it. Well, no, I don't hate to. Uh, Talking to my guides. Sometimes I'm
Absolutely.
like, it's so many different things I want to do at one time. I feel like I'm being called to, and I don't know which one to do first. And then it's not trusting my judgment. If I choose this one and then it fails, in my mind, it fails. I should have did that. Maybe that would have been. So I start trying to do everything at one time, and then I'll find myself like, okay, I got to go within. I have to listen to my intuition. I'm intuitively guiding everybody else, and then I'm lost and confused. So I would say to myself, let's sit. We could pull cards for ourselves. Let's tap in our intuition. What do you feel you're being guided to? What's going to be a sign for you as to what you should do first? And STEAM, the soul transforming energy and movement that I came up with, is how I was able to make many hats one. When I do my intuitive guidance, it's a part of my movement. The visualizations is a part of the movement. So everything I did came together. And now I'm incorporating the raps and the singing. Thanks to Write It Out, actually, that actually kept me writing. And
Mhm.
so now recently I was inspired to start to do more of that. Hence the title Goldieverse, which is my MC name. And that was due to a recent passing of a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine that was a producer for me. So it kind of felt like a catalyst. All of this stuff I've been doing, Write It Out. Now he's passed on. I still have his music. So now that hat is probably at the forefront, but everything else fits under it. I'm able to sing some of these songs and they have affirmations in it. And I use it during the movement. And then they're visualizing as they're listening to the affirmations. So I think making all of the hats fit into one, along with the support of my oldest, and then venting to people like Lay, and helps me to keep all the hats balanced, you know.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Lay says she is STEAM certified. So thank you, Lay. You gave me my next question. How can we get STEAM certified?
Woo! Speed certification is a journey. So it's about 9 months, as if going through the birth cycle. And it was like a part one, part two, and then part three. So you go through a 9 month process. And I haven't done it in probably 2 years now. I'm very particular with STEAM certification because I'm hands-on. I'm live with them every week. We have our own Facebook private group where we talk. I do prompts. I pop up live every Wednesday there. So I'm very personal with everyone who certifies. So when Lay certified, I was handpicking. Okay, this person asked me, I like your energy. You can come. Okay, Lay, I know you're serious. You've been doing the work on yourself. You can get in. And I think I have to get not like less selfish with it. It feels like my baby. So I'm always like, I want it to be like Zumba, and I just want to be out there and take off, and everybody's just steam. And then the other side of me is like, and then there might be people who get certified who don't do the healing. And then they're just out there and they're messing somebody else up and it's on my name. And someone's like, I was destroyed by STEAM by this teacher. So it makes me scared to just let it go. But I've been thinking about doing it again. I've been thinking about doing another certification, just waiting for Because at the time people started asking. That's what made me put it out there. So you asking kind of has me like, okay, maybe it's time again. So.
Yes. I definitely believe that there are some ways that we get confirmation for things that we have been putting off in our head as well. So, hello, Jazz. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions for our guests, make sure you ask some questions. We always love questions. So, and then Caitlin said Amina is definitely a soulmate and soul sister form. Love her. Okay, I love to hear that. I what and this is it goes back to what I stated earlier. Like you definitely the way you show up, it definitely speaks for itself, you know. So you meet a lot of different people. And what's that song? A Queen Naija, or whatever her song is, and she said my intuition never lies. There's nothing you can never hide. So I really believe that that is something that just listening to you is really teaching me to really hone in on how we trust our intuition, the things that we're learning. One thing I did have to unlearn is that I didn't trust my intuition because I had never leaned on my intuition. Uh, what has that ever been an issue for you?
Yeah, of course. And that's probably the number one thing I push and teach is you are intuitive.
Mhm.
Even being intuitive and being tapped in and being an intuitive guy, I still second guess myself because you could tap in and then feel like, maybe I just want to feel that. Maybe it's me manipulating the energy. And then I have to turn to somebody else. A lot of times I'll turn to people I actually taught, like that worked with, that were clients, like Caitlin, Lay. I'll be like, I need y'all
Yeah.
to put some cards, or can you look into see what do you feel about this? Because if I just look into it, I might see it the way I want to see it and not
Yeah.
necessarily the way it is. But then there's those times where you ignore your gut and you go the wrong way. So it's always it's a you have to really feel it out. But I will say for me, I do turn to others sometimes rather than always trusting myself. And that's not really a bad thing. I do say we all need some kind of confirmation at times.
So yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's about building a community for sure. So you don't always have to just depend on your intuition. And not saying that your intuition is something that's going to lead you wrong. Sometimes you what you just said, we need that outside confirmation. As we are speaking, I know we were speaking to Goldieverse. I do want to get into asking you a little questions about your poetry, your rap, all of those items. Now, were you interested in poetry but before your friend passed and you only got the name from the passing of your friend?
Wow. Okay. My journey, the journey with hip hop and rap and poetry, I will say I started with poetry, and
Hmm.
this was not me. I had totally, I was somebody else. Girl, I looked up some name in a book of African names. I was like, Mawia, Talimba, something. Taimba, something. I had some whole and El Shabazz, like
No,
some
she was
whole
ready.
one other tip. And slowly, I think around the age of 13, uh, actually at the dance school I went to, a friend put me and one of my friends together and said, I'm writing some raps and I want you guys going to be a group. And we were like, okay, I write poetry. I guess that's kind of the same. But it was not, as I learned later on. It's the same, but it's in the same family, but it's not the
Right.
same. And through her, Carrie Edge, shout out, she kind of got me into the idea of, rap. From there, I went to LaGuardia High School Performing Arts, and that's where I met my friend who passed, Sidney Oman Brown. And he was rapping at first. He had a crew called Young Mob Empire. I probably was the only girl he would bring all the time. They probably was like, "Oh, get her out of here," but I was the only girl, and they gave me the name Goldie. At the time, I had an afro. It was goldish. I dyed it like blonde, but Black hair, I didn't know what to do. You got to bleach it first. That joint came out like a gold rather than blonde. And I said, okay, whatever. And at the time, I was in my 70s movies, 60s movies, and I had saw the Mac. And I said, why is it always a masculine? I could be the Mac, and his name is Goldie. I'm Goldie. And so I took gold into Goldie and started to work on that name. And as I grew spiritually, it transformed into gold, the master healer. After I studied crystals and stuff, and I learned that gold was considered a master healing mineral to use to wear. That's how come they're like, if you wear it, it's a whole thing behind wearing gold, and where why the rappers wear all that gold and don't realize that sometimes it's too much energy, and that's why they get egos, and because it's the master healer. That's a whole nother lesson. But that's when I took that and I said, I'm gold the master healer. But once I joined Write It Out, I started saying Goldie verse because I felt like, well, I write verses, poetry, rap verses. So, and this is Goldie's universe, Goldie's verse when you're in my music and in my lyrics. And that's how that all came to be. So part of him and part of what you guys got going, Write It Out made Goldie verse.
Absolutely. Now, this is gonna be a question, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is the shirt that you have on an original shirt by Late Night? And this is a shirt that you won from one of the contests inside of the Write It Out tribe, correct? So,
This is my Write It Out project. I even these earrings she made. This is from something else that she just was working on. So I was digging through my crate of Late Night items, and these are probably the first earrings she made me. But yeah, this was my prize, and it has steam on it, so it's dope. I was really excited and happy.
oh yes, I was like, do I recognize that shirt? So also one of the last questions that I do want to ask you before I give you the floor to bless us with your art, the art that is you, of course, the talent that is you, the healing that is you. So because it's too many it's so many facets to you. Like I'm like when I was like, do I want her on a panel first, or do I just want to talk to her? I was like, I just want to talk to you. And there is no way, form of fashion that I have covered all of the things that I want to talk to you about, or I do believe that we would be able to explore so much more. Um, the last question I will ask, and it'll be double part for us, is how important is community to you, and what is the legacy that you hope that you leave via STEAM, your dance, all of those gifts that are you?
Okay. So repeat the first one, the first part of
How
the question.
important is community to you?
So I would say community is right at the top, but I would probably put community under self, like self first before
Mhm.
community. Before I would put community first, and I would lose myself. I would lose myself in the community, pleasing, wanting to be a part so much. And I started to realize like I'm completing, not feeling complete without the community. I have to get complete and then I can rejoin. And now the community feels good because I know who I am amidst everybody else. And I don't feel like I don't fit. I feel like I'm me fitting in where I fit, you're fitting where you fit, and we're coming together if we're in alignment, if we're meant to interact and become a community. And creating my community, the community I have on YouTube and on Facebook was, oh my God, I put so much energy into, I don't just want a bunch of people to join. I want a specific energy. I want people to feel safe. I want it to be a safe space where you feel like, oh, I could come here and I'm not going to see abusive comments. I don't have to worry about seeing nasty remarks. Here, we're all in alignment. So building a safe community, once becoming whole myself, that made community come up right there with self. But in the beginning, I had to get self first importance and then community. But as a light worker, yeah, community does eventually become one of the same with yourself. Who you are is one of your light tribe. You're one with them. It's like, I guess that being one with everyone in the universe. So
Hmm.
your light tribe and you are going to actually start to mirror each other. And yeah, you can't really form a disconnect. You do become your community, but it's good to find self first. I hope that made sense. I mean, like,
No, that absolutely
mhm.
makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And then the second part of that question is, what is the legacy that you hope to leave?
I guess if I could sum it up, oh, man, the legacy I hope to leave is that the spirit realm and the physical realm are connected in one. And I would, if I leave planting that in people's minds and hearts and having them really tap in and connect, that would make me happy in itself because it's that disconnect from the spirit realm that has this world in turmoil now because everybody's very I am, I. It's always I. And what do I want? What can I get and conquer and strategy? And nobody's in, well, not no one, but the majority, are disconnected from source. They're disconnected from spirit. And if they are connected, they're misusing the energy, like the higher ups. And I think leaving behind that we all can tap in and connect and actually seeing people connecting and being able to raise their vibration above the matrix, as it's called, and being able to really free themselves and find happiness and joy, even amidst the chaos of the world. I think that's the legacy I want to leave behind. That Amina came and she showed that spirit realm is real, God is real, and we are also able to have some of the attributes of source too.
Well, I could tell you the impression and the legacy that you have left with me is that Amina, she came, she saw, she conquered, and she was a true embodiment of all of the things that she taught and all of the things that she teaches. So I definitely believe that your legacy will flow on just the way that you envision it, simply because you are who you are. So with that being said, I am going to step off. I will give you the floor. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Amina, aka Goldieverse.
All right, let me get the chat out the way. So everything's set up. All right, so what I want to do first, I'm going to break this down. This is called the steam routine. Now, it's really very simple. And I always say I don't like to say something simple because then if it's difficult for someone, make you feel a certain way. But it is pretty simple. I'm going to walk through it right now. And what it helps you with is clearing your energy and grounding. One of the number one things with steam is visualizing. That's what makes this movement different from just getting up and dancing around. But it does connect you to the same energy of when you're just listening to music and you're just jamming. You're in your zone. You're feeling what you're feeling. With this, you're visualizing. Each movement has a different energy, a different feeling. So, and you can do it seated. So the first movement, you're taking energy up from Mama Earth, your source of life, where you get your food and all that stuff. And you're taking that energy up through the center. And this is from Qigong. You might recognize this if you practice if you practice Qigong. And then you are exhaling and releasing. And your visual, as you're doing this, is visualizing how do you think energy looks to you? Is it light? Do you see it as a color? And when you're flushing out what you don't want in your body, how do you see it? Is it a dark color? Does it look like ashes? And that's the visual for that movement. Simple. The next one you're visualizing, if you can't bend down, don't. You're taking some element of earth. This could be sand, soil, water, and you're lifting it up and you visualize yourself pouring it over yourself. And as you're doing that, feel the cleanse. All right, because energy is real. Your mind is And that's where the neurolinguistics come in. Your mind has a lot of control on us. It has a lot of control. So you want to control your mind, and that's how you shift your energy. So if your mind is telling you, I'm scooping up some earth and I'm pouring it over me and it's clearing my aura, your mind will believe it the more you see it. So that is the first two movements, and you're going to repeat it. After that, the next one is just step, touch, step, touch, step, touch. And this process is a clearing. You're going to be like almost pushing away any energy you don't want in your vicinity anymore. And this is very real, as in your energy can be felt as far as your arms can reach. And that's why when people are up on you, you can feel like you're in my energy. So we have to clear it. Step, clear. Step. It's almost like pushing it away. And if you have toxic people in your energy, visualize them moving with grace, not with pushing them, knocking them down, gracefully sending them on their way. Out your energy. If you want to add some feminine energy to it, you can add a hip, but otherwise, just visualize the movement of this energy. The next movement, your feet are doing step together, step together. And what you're doing is you're clearing your path of obstacles. So you have to visualize however you see that. And then you're opening up, turn your palms up, opening to receive your blessings. When I see this, it's like just gold raining down on me. But you can see this money, light, whatever. So it's moving obstacles, opening to receive your blessings. Okay? The next movement, same feet, open, close. You're taking love in from the earth and sending it back out. Give and receive. Out and bring it into your heart. All right, from here, your hands on your heart. And mind you, I'll be doing it again. So don't get frustrated if you feel like I'm not going to remember all of this. Just be following me. So from here, step back. All right, that's love to the earth again. Step, and this is the reminder to stay grounded. You have to connect to nature. You have to connect to the earth. Okay. All right, and you get that love back. The last movement is called the give and receive, because your hands are simultaneously giving as you're receiving. So that should be your mindset. Whatever you want to receive, visualize that, or you could visualize yourself moving towards whatever it is you want. Okay, that's the first hands, give and receive. Then you do the same feet, and you're taking love from the earth. Same feet. This is acknowledging your guides, dancing with your ancestors. Same feet from the heart up. This is acknowledging your spirit guide team, angels, whoever walks with you. And then the last one, same feet, is up to the Most High. Okay? And then you return back to the breath to finish. So that should be simple enough. I will be calling out the movements. And I'm using a West African dance rhythm called dansa. Dansa comes from Mali, West Africa. And it's usually done for weddings and celebrations. But in this case, it has a nice bass. And I think the bass kind of helps you ride the rhythm to do these movements. Let's go. Hopefully I don't wake up my kids putting this on. Hopefully I can hear the drums. Start with your palms open, receive. Ready? Take a deep breath in and let it out. In and out. We'll take some love from Mama Earth. Visualize water, sand, And clear your energy. Remember to breathe again. And clear. Repeat. And out. Take in like you love. Let go what no longer needs to be in your energy. And take that energy other way. And clear. Going to the side step, feet step, push, step, push, step, clear your energy. In alignment, sitting on its way. Going to do the two-step opening to clear the path, opening to receive. See those obstacles moving out your way. Same feet. Now get some love from Mama Earth and give that love back. This is a heart chakra clearing movement as well. Last one. Keep your hands at your heart. You're going to step back to the earth. If you're seated, just do the arm. Just feel the love between you and your earth. Walk with me, give, receive at the same time. Masculine, this, feminine energy, and gonna take some love in, earth, in to your heart center. And visualize this love and light however you want to see. Next, we're going to dance with our ancestors who are always with us. From your heart up to the sides, acknowledging your spirit team, archangels, deities, and then the source of the world. Thanks to God for guiding you here to have this experience today and breathe. And out. Breathe in. Out. And up. This time, take it all the way up, and release. Bring it up again, last time. And release. All right, now we're gonna move to intuitive. All right, now I'm all sweaty. Okay, so to wrap this up, what I usually do is some intuitive guidance with my students, clients, whoever partakes in the STEAM session. And usually I have everything set up, but in this case, I don't, only for skeptics. I said, I'm not going to have everything pre-set up because sometimes if people don't see how everything is put together, they assume like, oh, you did that already. You saw the cards, you know what they're going to say, blah, blah, blah. So how I usually do my intuitive guidance. Okay, I got some time. Checking the time. All right. Is I set up pals. And what I'm going to do so you can kind of have a more personalized experience, this is going to be a quick read. I'm using a deck that gives advice. This is advice from spirit guides. Of course, I tap into the intuition to give you more clarity. And this deck was actually made by a Haitian visual artist. I forgot her name. Please forgive me. Oh no, I got the box here. Um, it's called the Ghetto Tarot, and it uses models from Haiti as well. Okay, I'll just show the box because I don't see her name on it, but that is the box for those that might be interested. And I'm gonna set up. I think I have time to do. We're gonna do two paths, and I could give you some insight on what to expect. Let's see, in December, what's coming up for you? What can you expect? And then some advice. And this is how I usually wrap up my sessions, maybe with affirmations as well. But in this case, we're gonna do some intuitive guidance. So I have my crystals here as well. Ooh, I have 3 crystals. I think I was supposed to do 3 piles, but I don't know if I have time for that. If I could do that in 15 minutes. No, we're gonna do 2. So I also work with crystals, quartz crystal here, and I'm gonna use this tiger's eye. So see which crystal you feel drawn to, and that's where your message will be. Tiger's eye crystal is gonna be group 2. The quartz crystal is going to be group 1. And I will tell you what those crystals are for when you pick your group. So I'm going to start with those who feel drawn to the quartz crystal. Okay. If you feel drawn to the quartz, I can tell you right now, just off of being drawn to the quartz, that this December, if you've been confused about anything, if you've been feeling like I don't understand what's happening, either in a part of your life, a relationship, or something, quartz crystal brings clarity. You meditate with these crystals if you want to get clear, if you feel like you have brain fog. And to be drawn to this crystal for December lets me know that there may be something that's going to become more clear for you. Also, this specific quartz that I have here was a gift. You may receive something from somebody, from someone from your past, and it may heal a wound. That's for those that were drawn in here. If you were wounded by somebody from the past, this quartz crystal healed its own self. I don't know if the yellow picks up, but it healed its own self from where it was rooted. And that makes it also considered a golden healing quartz. So it lets me know that there's going to be some great healing. Something's going to be healed next month for you. Something that's going to bring you some clarity. That's probably why you're going to get some healing. You'll get clear on something that probably was a little bit confusing. So let's see what else. I'm going to pull 3 cards and see what else we get for my group ones. I'll call you the quartz crystal group. My quartzes. Yep, y'all been worried about something. All right, my quartzes, you might be worried about a relationship right now. We got the 9 of Swords. This is somebody that is stressed out, losing sleep, overthinking something, thinking a lot about something that has to do with a relationship. Now, this could be friends, that a friend that was like your soulmate friend, or this could be an intimate relationship. But it's reversed, and it lets me know some kind of choice has to be made. For some of you, this could be maybe you're hurt by the loss of someone that was very, very close to you, that it's difficult to let go of that memory. I see the death card is here as well, reversed. So some of you may be grieving someone literally, and some of you may be just feeling very confused about a choice, that about letting someone go or staying in it. Okay. Let me get you clarity for them. So I'm seeing some kind of communication next month. That's what's going to give you clarity. For those of you that are actually grieving a loss, there's communication coming in that can soothe that. Maybe old friends connected to that person, family members coming together. Something next month is going to maybe soothe that hurt. And for those where it's an intimate relationship, you might hear from somebody and they might give you that's going to bring you some clarity. All right. So my group 1, I'm going to give you some advice. This is your advice card. Let's see what we got for my ones. And I ain't got my glasses on. I got nerve. Oh. So my group ones, your advice says you need to ignore what everyone else is doing and achieving. Your life is about breaking your own limits and outgrowing yourself to live your best life. You're not in competition with anyone else. Plan to outdo your past, not other people. So that may be something else you need to know for December. If you're worried about how far you're going with your goals and the things you're trying to achieve, your guides are coming through, and I tap into the ancestors. Your ancestors are coming through to let you know that don't worry about your accomplishments or how far you've gotten so far. That you're moving at the right speed. Okay, you're breaking your own limits. Don't worry about everybody else, and you'll be fine. But there's communication coming in next month for you guys that will bring clarity, soothe the wound, bring some kind of healing. All right. That's what I got for my quartzes. If you were drawn to the tiger's eye, these glasses. If you were drawn to the tiger's eye crystal, my tiger's eyes. Oh, okay. The tiger's eye crystal is one of my favorite crystals. It is used often for protection, energy protection. It also attracts prosperity in as well. So you may be getting some kind of extra protection from your guides next month when it comes to your money. I don't know if people been acting funny with money with you. You ain't been where you want to get to financially yet. I'm just seeing funny business like not getting the promotion you deserve. Oh, look, and stuff already want to come out. Yeah, or people that want to sell you short. There's some kind of choice you got to make. This jumped out. Wow. Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords. My twos, there's a choice you got to make. I don't know what this deceptiveness is here that you're being protected from, but you have to make a choice. I'm gonna give some more information. Those jumped out. So let me see. What do you need to choose? You have the star here and the Hierophant. All right. My twos. What I'm saying for you guys is you may be moving into a higher position. With the Hierophant here in the star. I don't know if I could show the star card. She's a little nude. But the Hierophant represents somebody who is really, really respected. Maybe their spiritual knowledge, their belief system. People listen to and respect this person. And I don't know if that's what you've been working towards or praying for or hoping for to get some kind of promotion or to get to a point in your career or your life where what you believe and what you have to say is respected. But there's some choice you have to make. There's some deception here, and I want to understand what that is with next month. All right, it's something with your money. We have the Nine of Pentacles here. Yeah. There's something with your money that could be like you're supposed to be comfortable. My twos, you're supposed to have money, what you wish for coming in, a respected figure in whatever it is you do. But somebody is being a little deceptive behind the scenes. So the warning I'm getting for you, bottom of the deck, Three of Swords. Woo. So that's heartbreak. What I'm getting for you is keep an eye on the people that are around you. You may have a feminine energy. She feels older, who's emotionally distressed. You'll know who the person is. They're like a little teeter-tottering emotionally. They might be dealing with heartbreak, and that could be their trigger. But there's some deceptiveness here. And you might have to make a choice about dealing with somebody or not. It's going to come down to your comfort and your coin as well. For some of you, your money. But I'm hearing a lot of you, your comfort and you reaching your goals. You might have to make a choice. And you'll know the person will be a little bit unstable and going through some kind of heartache. And that's not to say just cut them off, but they are not to go on some kind of journey you're meant to go on. My twos, you have some kind of spiritual journey you're on, whether you know it or not. All right, let me get you your advice. Okay, that was quick. All right, my tiger's eyes, it says it's time to hit the reset button, clear out the old so that room is available for the new to enter. Trust that better things are coming fast. Prepare to move to the next phase of your life. This is your rebirth. Welcome this beautiful brand new energy. You've got this. I can tell with the Hierophant. You're leveling up, my Tiger's Eye folks. So there's a need for you to be cutting off toxic people. And next month you might find that somebody's going to make themselves known as somebody that needs to go. And just see it as your guides protecting you from something, not anything, bad, just good for you. All right. That's what I've got. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope that you guys had something from that. Oh, and I should drop my stuff. I wrote it down. So I can remember my quotes and my links.
So sorry. Also, if you somebody says, I have a question. What are
Okay.
your goals? Mark Player said, I have one question. What is your goals?
My goals overall would be what I said in the beginning was as far as helping other light workers, people that feel like they have a higher calling in this world, helping them to get through do the inner work to make it possible to get out there and do those things. And it's a lot of inner work we have to do. When you're a light worker, you have a lot of obstacles and stuff that we usually have the hardest life, but we still have to look like you don't look like what you've been through, I'm sure. And so that's pretty much what my goal is to help those of us that have to shine regardless of what's going on within, to do the work within and be able to actually shine comfortably and do the work in the world and still keep healing. you know you're never going to
Absolutely.
stop healing because you're always going to have new experiences. But be able to heal quicker because you're a light worker. Now you can go through your stuff and process it quicker and be able to get back out there and help somebody else who isn't connected like that or tapped in. So that's my overall goal. Not really
Absolutely.
fame. Money would be nice, but
Okay. You're not wrong about that. No, but and Jazz stated that the Tiger's Eye was on point, and I agree because I was gonna type it in, and I was like, I'm gonna put Tiger's Eye under there, but I didn't comment it. It's still right here in my little comment thing. I was waiting to send it, and so I was listening. I was like, shit. So you guys, as we were all sitting here and we were listening, I hope that you were able to take something away from. Well, I was up dancing with you and everything. I hope y'all got up. I hope y'all did the movements. I really do. I as I could say, like I'm visualizing what some of the things that you were telling us to visualize, and it really put a lot of my questions that I have for you into perspective, because there was a question that I had for you about how does dance correlate into healing movements and everything like that, and you showed me through example, so I appreciate you so much. I am going to go ahead and let you tell them where they can find you at if you guys are looking for any more of what she has to offer. If you're looking to don't look to do anything, subscribe to her on YouTube. Make sure you watch her videos. Go in, support her. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're here for. The networking. If the Tiger's Eye was on point for you, then that lets you know that this is a place where you could get accurate information from. So definitely check her out. She's on YouTube, and she's gonna tell you guys. Go ahead
All
and
right,
tell
I
us where
wrote
we
it
can
down
find you.
because I got a few. Okay. On YouTube, I'm at Steam with Amina, but it's S.T.E.A.M. with Amina. That's where I do most of my stuff. Besides my Facebook private group, that's groups slash, well, facebook.com/groups, Steam Holistic Arts, spelled just like that. Steam and holistic with an H, not the W. Holistic, HOLISTICARTS. You request to join, you answer the questions, you say you're going to follow the rules, and you're in. IG. I'm rarely on Instagram. I was doing lives on Instagram of monthly forecasts, but I started to trickle off. But I'm there sometimes at Soul Transforming Energy, spelled just like that. And TikTok. I just popped back on there. I haven't been there for a minute. At Get In underscore Tuit, Tuit, with Amina, Amina. And you can also reach me by email if you want to book a reading or anything, Amina Heckstall at AOL.com. Oh, my last name, yeah. Heckstall. I know y'all like, what? But I do have a sale this weekend on readings for, I don't like calling it Black Friday, light energy weekend. All right. If you want to get I have discounts on personal guidance this weekend. That's about it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I have enjoyed
Thank
you.
you.
I would love to have you back on, especially on a panel where we could
Yeah.
discuss the different healing modalities, all types of things. Girl, I got so much I can talk to you about. I am personally much conversation. I'm a believer that we have gotten away from the ideal that communication is not important. But I definitely believe it's important because it's a way to pass down knowledge, it's a way to pass down history, it's a way to, and if we think about all of the things that they're doing currently, like taking all of the stuff out of the history books, all of the things that are happening, so we become the people who keep the history. So if you have learned nothing, allow her to have taught you that your history is important, where you come from is important. The things that have been taken away from us, the things that they have told you, this is not what you should do. It's demonic. I implore you to educate yourself on
Yes.
the ways that you can heal yourself through movement, through the arts, through performing arts, through all of the wishing. My camera is starting to mess up now. I do believe. I don't know why. Towards the end, it always get really bad. Yeah. So
OBE.
thank you all so much for tuning in. You have a great night and
Yeah. Thank
peace and
you for
blessings.
having
Yes. See you guys on Sunday. Bye bye.
me.